Good morning, YouTube. So I'll get this out in the open. Well, I can now. This is one of the videos I told you Jeanette's live feed that I would make. Now, this isn't involving anything topic-wise crochet. Well, it is, but I'm going to tell you the story of how I got into it. So, let's say about 6 years ago now. It's been about 6 years. I had a massive stroke. And I wouldn't be able to tell because I'm young. And I suffer from a medical condition that is called Factor V, and it's a blood clotting disorder. Also, I struggle with high blood pressure and cholesterol. That's in my family line. So I have a bad heart. I've always had heart murmurs and problems with my heart. I was born 2 months premature. So that affected a lot of things down the line in my later life. So I'm 32 years of age, to be honest with you guys. I don't look it. I look pretty young. I feel great. I feel fine. But there are days where I just feel blah. And I still struggle with vertigo. I still have numbness in my hands on the right side. I have, moments where it just feels like, something else is going to happen. And you never know, it could. I had a TIA, a minor one, and I went to the hospital for that and gotten taken care of. But anyway, that's how, when I came out of the hospital for the first time, when I actually had my stroke, my doctor told me that I was having a panic attack. This is an emergency doctor, not my real doctor. He told me that I was actually having a panic attack. It was all in my mind that I'm too young to be having a stroke to go home. Now, my dad and everybody took me to the hospital that night because they know that if I'm not able to speak or talk and I ask them to take me to the hospital, something is seriously wrong with me. So we did that. A week later, I had to have a follow-up. Every time you get discharged from a hospital, you have to have a follow-up with your primary doctor. My primary doctor followed up with me, sent me immediately back to the emergency room with a prescription for an MRI because he said I had a stroke. I did that. I had an MRI, I had a CAT scan. I was admitted for 2 weeks into the hospital. I went through physical therapy for a year. And a couple of the things that my physical therapist taught me and told me to try to attempt to do was never let failure bother you. I got back on my bicycle. I got back into walking, running, swimming, surfing. But then, I also play piano sometimes. That was one of the first things I did when I felt a little up to it. They took me downstairs. The nurses wheeled me down, and they had a piano in the lobby, and they let me play the piano. And my doctor sat on the stool with me and had me play. I was very weak. I could only play with one hand. I couldn't even move my arms. So for almost a year, I was stuck like this. And it took a long time to recover. But I did exactly what my physical therapist said. I never let failure get to me. Every time I fell or felt like failure, it made me more determined not to fail. And I got a lot going on with my real family too. My mom's got Alzheimer's. My dad's an older gentleman. He's retired Navy, in the Navy for near about 40 years. I have a son. Due to all of my life happenings, I can't really take care of him at the moment. So he's in the care of my sister-in-law. But, hiding things from him I don't necessarily agree with, and that's what they're doing. Anyway, I don't want to go into all those other rabbit trails. Point is, I'm just going to get my story out and tell you. But one of the things my physical therapist got me better, with motor skills was crochet and knit. And I watched YouTube videos and I read books. My grandmother always taught me some of the basics when I was a kid, and I did learn some of that, and I always knew how to sew. My grandma taught me how to do that, and but I started watching some YouTube tutorials and read books, did all that, taught myself everything I needed to know about knitting and crochet. And I really got into it. So yarn saved my life. And it also was a way to de-stress from my life. So in that aspect, it saved me in more ways than one. I am a born Catholic, but I was raised in a Jewish Italian household, and like I said in my last holiday video, if you've seen me, I celebrate Hanukkah because that was a tradition. I was extremely close to my grandfather. I took care of him until he passed away, and he was the one stronghold in my life. He passed away of Alzheimer's. This is my mom's dad I'm talking about. So it's going down the line. I don't know if it's genetic, but it's one of those things that I'm scared of that will happen to me. And, my dad and I don't want to put her in a nursing home. And it breaks my heart if there's somebody that just is a family member that just doesn't care. Just like my family did when they found out that my mom was sick, and she also recovered from 2 years of remission from breast cancer. But after that, she's got Alzheimer's. And it's like one thing after another. I don't want to go on and on and on about this whole thing. But this, in general, is why I knit and crochet. So, if any of you have stories that brought you into knit and crochet, or crafts in general, I'm not talking about just knit and crochet, but crafts in general, because I also like to sew, I also like to paint, I also like to do sea glass art and fine sea glass. There's so many things I like to do. And a lot of those things that I do help me take my mind off the negativity in my life. And I try to stay positive as much as I can, because if I let the negativity overwhelm me, then I feel anxiety and depression. But I'm not a depressed person. I'm always positive. I work hard. I've worked my way up to a management position at work. And also, where I don't have my son all the time. Let me get her. One of the most important aspects in my life is being a kitty cat and doggy mom. Mostly a kitty cat mom. But this young lady here, I found outside of work. And she also, makes me feel better. And she likes to sit with me when I knit and I crochet. And when I do both and I see both things there making me happy, my whole day will just melt away. I'll put her back. She was laying down. I'll put you back there. My whole day from being stressed will just melt away. So now that I've shared, not the full story, but I don't want to bore you with my whole life, but the gist of my life, this is why I knit and I crochet. So I want to hear your stories, guys. So if you have a story, make a video and share it. If you don't have capabilities to make a video on your channel, or you just are here just to watch videos, by all means, just comment below. Share your story. If you go onto my channel's main page, you'll see my contact information. Get in touch with me. Because if there's something you want to keep personal, I'll keep it personal. I'm a good person to talk to. But this is why I do what I do. And it makes me happy. And it makes people I give to gifts to happy, and the people I can make things for want to pay me to do that, and then it gives me the ability to teach other people that I would like to do. I would love to get more equipment and get involved in making tutorials. But this is why I knit and crochet, and it's a good release, and it makes me happy, and I'm happy when you guys are happy, and I love my YouTube family, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love and peace, and stay crafty. Bye, guys.